Now we're moving on to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh man.
This second topic, it's also, I've been seeing it float around in a couple of shows, and it's one that I've had in my mind for the past 2 to 3 years. But it's usually because I don't want to say I jump ship quick, but you know me, like I come up with these theories earlier on than most people, and I'm glad that it's finally getting talked about with the Sixers. And it has to do with the process and the people that are the core of the process, like Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. They already took out Markel Fultz. Erwin, should the 76ers give up on the process already?
The hell, man? No. Trust the process, bro. No. Look, right now, this is probably the best opportunity to finish the process right now.
This year. This is the last opportunity, in my opinion.
Maybe not the last year, but I'll say the window possibly. You know, if they don't get their act together, it's gonna close. And it's gonna be a rude awakening.
Yeah. Like if this ain't the last year, this is the second to last year for sure.
It's pretty close, but no. Maybe not the next to last year. It depends. There's a lot of variables to place. Right now, this would be the year because right now the only threats that the 76ers have to be able to make it to the finals, legit threat would be the Bucks. I mean, yes, there's the Heat. Yes, there's the Celtics.
Yeah.
But
Toronto, Indiana. But the one that everybody, Bucks. Which
yeah.
is one team. Think about that. So it's like, bro, like...
Yeah, the Bucks. Look,
it's not a lot to worry about.
The thing right now with the 76ers is right now they have a lot of talent on the team, but they're very front-loaded.
Chemistry, man.
Chemistry, very front-loaded. You know,
the pieces don't fit.
The pieces don't fit. They got talented people. They got Ben Simmons. They got Joel Embiid. They got Al Horford. You don't need to tell me who.
Tobias.
Tobias.
Josh Richardson.
Like I said, very top heavy. The thing is, they just don't mesh. One thing that I saw brought up, I'm not quite sure if it was at the jump or not, is who should they trade? Should they trade Joel Embiid? Should they trade Ben Simmons? I think, to make the process completely work the way how it is unfortunately that might have to happen.
Oh, I've even seen them considering trading Al Horford.
Or Al Horford, but I think Al Horford, that's going to be a very tough contract to get rid of. Mm-hmm. Number one, Al Horford's past his prime.
Yeah. Well, on a championship team, though, he can make a significant, you know what I'm saying?
He could, but there's not many franchises that have the cap room. I believe the only franchise right now that has any cap room, period, and it's only $4 million, if I'm not mistaken, is the Atlanta
that's nothing.
Hawks. And you think Al Horford's
that's not a contender. Nah.
No, man. I'm like, and the other contenders, it's going to... You gotta see how it's... One interesting thing that I saw, when I go back to is a rumor that I've been seeing go around is the Warriors and the 76ers. It's possibly a trade of D'Lo for Ben Simmons.
Oh, I heard about that.
I think that might actually work out.
It kind of makes sense.
I think it could make sense. They're both.
Wait. But you told me that to not give up on the process. So when I ask that question, I'm saying, like, would you break up that core? Which right now, let's focus on the duo, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, or would you not?
This is what I mean by the process. Okay, the process is when Sam Hinkie started this, he teared it apart, to build it back up.
Yeah.
To tear it down completely and rebuild, finish the process.
Tank, collect picks.
I don't mean that. What I mean is to continue the process, it just needs a little tweak. A little tweak that they can do is possibly, okay, look, if Ben Simmons is not gonna get a 3-point shot, or he's not even gonna attempt any 3-point shots, I'm sorry, Ben Simmons, you gotta go.
So that's giving up on the process, bro. That's what I'm asking.
But no, okay.
That is when I'm referring to what everyone refers to as the process. It's those two.
Okay,
because those two were the key pickups during that process era.
I guess. Okay.
We're not in the process anymore. We're past it.
Okay, then I guess if we're going with that, then yes, tear up the process because it's not
That's
working out.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like Ben Simmons. I don't know what it is with him, but it's like shit. Me and you have a better jump shot than him. I'm like, and he's made threes before. I don't know why he's not shooting them because
confidence.
If he can make those threes, or I'm not saying you gotta be a Ray Allen, but at least if he can make at
least jack it up,
shoot like 2 or 3 attempts, at least he's gonna show opponents, hey, this guy's gonna shoot it, and if we leave him wide open, we're gonna pay for it because come playoff time, you better believe they're gonna pack the paint. They're not gonna allow
and the game's a lot slower.
And that there goes the 76ers chances. Okay, but to answer your question, tear up the process. You gotta trade one of them. You gotta make up your decision. I say.
So you think it's reached that point?
Yeah, of course. I say trade Ben Simmons for D'Lo. I think that'll be a good starting point. They could possibly get other pieces to help out their bench because the 76ers have no bench whatsoever. And D'Lo, I think, will fit well there because he can shoot it. He's an offensive player. Possibly he can be somebody that can go for a closer role. He's going to be a perimeter player that can be able to. He led the Nets last year. Towards that playoff run. And in addition, the 76ers have the size and they have the defenders to compensate to be able to hide D'Lo for his liability on the defense end. Because Joel Embiid is arguably the best center in the NBA when healthy. You're not gonna want to try him either on Twitter, and you're not gonna want to try him going into the paint because that's gonna get swatted away. Al Horford as well. He's really good defensively as well. Josh Richardson that we known here in Miami. He's no loaf when it comes to defense. He's pretty good defensively as well. So yeah, you can get away with having D'Lo there, as a liability defensive wide. But to answer that question and make it very clear, yes, I think it's that time already, because the window is closing. This is their opportunity right now, and there's an opportunity in a team like the Warriors, to be able to make that move. What do you think, Andrade?
Nah, you know what I think. It's done. It's done.
Done so?
Since last year. For me, Ben Simmons, I don't want to bring like entertainment drama or anything, but there was ever since that whole Kendall Jenner relationship, and they've brought it up a couple times. It's like that, yeah. And I wouldn't even blame it on her, but from that point on, it's like, I don't know. It's like there was a shift in like his focus from like being solely a basketball player to being like the Ben Simmons brand, who is a basketball player. You know what I mean? And I've heard that he's been distracted before in summer, so that's why this year I was actually a little more open. Like, okay, suppose he's not in the relationship. I don't like really keep up with it, but that's what I heard. And he was back in the gym, like practicing and like really focused. And then he came out, and still now we're already by January, and he still hasn't he's not even shooting. Like he's not even making enough attempts to like be considered a shot, like a shooter. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, at least give it a shot and then see if your percentages go down. But like, we can't even judge if you're a good shooter or not ultimately because you're not even throwing up enough shots. And if he's just stuck mentally in that sense, yeah, it's time to break the process, give up on the process, move forward. This whole tanking, collecting high picks, it just didn't work out. I think in the long run, this is going to show us a lot. I think we'll be able to look at the 76ers during that era as an experiment, and how like just tanking to get high picks, which is already being dealt with by the NBA, but at least back then, tanking to get high picks isn't always the best thing, because you can get the best talents, because Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were considered some of the best, if not the best players in their draft class. But if they don't mesh well, if their style of play doesn't mesh well, on top of the locker room chemistry and on the floor chemistry, it's still not gonna work. Like not many teams can be like Shaq and Kobe, where like the drama is there, but they can still excel on the floor, especially when we're considering younger players.
We'll see.
So, yeah, and Joel Embiid is a center, and Max, he can play a power forward. He can shoot threes, but you're not gonna rely on him to shoot the threes because he has to stay in the back court. Damn, I'm confusing. Yeah, the front court
the paint.
to catch rebounds, set pick. Like, you get me? He's that's what he does. So he's not going to be able to play like a guard, and that's why Simmons has to. It just doesn't mesh. Simmons can't play like a guard. I think Simmons could play phenomenally as a small forward who just doesn't shoot a lot. And to some of the points you brought up, on a different team, whether it's the Warriors or a different team, like I think he can actually play really well. And take Markelle Fultz, for example. They shipped him off after he was there for 2 years, maybe 3.
They fixed him.
And no, they didn't fix him. Who, Sixers?
No, man, the Magic, he's killing.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm getting to. Like I don't even think it was just the Magic. It's just him leaving that environment. Sometimes you just gotta leave an environment to and this is like a bigger lesson. Just like leave an environment to like reset yourself. And Markelle, we were gonna see how it's gonna play out. And so far this season, 2019-2020, he's been, I'll even say excellent. Not like he's an excellent player, but he's been excellent compared to the past few years where he was in this
He's playing. He's
rock
healthy.
bottom that he had hit. And exactly, and he even scored his career high recent-ish so far as of now, like 25 or something.
Something
It's
like that.
something like that.
He's doing a lot better.
And then and I don't believe we would see this Markelle Fultz if he had stayed on the 76ers. And so maybe Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons just need a new team. I just don't see the 76ers going that far. They've been exposed by other teams when the Heat played them. I saw a couple articles saying how the Heat exposed their offense by playing a certain type of defense and how a lot of people can just learn from that. And guess what? During the playoffs, if you can't switch your schemes a lot, you're going to get exposed. And it's just that. And I don't even think they have to wait until the end of the playoffs. Like right now, we're both agreeing that even before entering these playoffs, we believe it's already time to give up on the process. I know a lot of people, especially 76ers fans, are going to be like, no, give it one more year. We'll see how it goes. Kind of how people do with Harden and the Rockets and D'Antoni. And that's another topic. But that's how I kind of view it. Like, it's just sometimes when it's just there's enough signs, you just got to part ways with it and just make peace with it. Yep. But at least it was an exciting era for the Sixers. So if nothing happens in terms of winning, like accolades and playoffs and championships, at least it was an exciting era for the Sixers after years of tanking and getting ridiculed.
We'll see.